Hey, what's up guys? This is TBone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So in today's episode, I'm going to be doing more of the preview of the upcoming feature for Awakening and also the new Rift. You can also see more details of all of the information in the post that the game team has provided in the Reddit post. I'll have the link to that in the description below as well. And in this particular video, this is going to be part one out of a two-part series where I'm going to be going over just the Rift themselves. And so in this video, you'll see Moon Forest, Red Crater, and Emeraldite. And I'm going to be talking about the bosses, the boss's skills, and we're also going to be doing a sample fight. I'll most likely be skipping through the mob section and jump right into just the boss fight so that the overall video is going to be a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one, which is Moon Sister. So her battle skill or active skill deals damage to all enemies, and she also deals unpreventable damage based on 20% of the target's max HP. So as she go higher in the level, as she gets stronger and has more health, she is going to be dealing more damage. Her mana gain is pretty low at 5, so she charges up pretty slowly. And that is because she will recover health for 50% of the damage that she deals. So every time she deals damage to you, she heals half of that damage as health. And then she also receives less damage from anything that's HP based, like bleeding, poison, burn, and assassin's mark. All of that will deal half damage. It's also immune to mana choke, stun, silence, sleep, and freeze. So all of those are not usable. And also, it doesn't say here, but the totems will also heal her when they activate. Now, one thing that you might have realized is that Moon Sisters is a non-colored hero, so that means regardless of the heroes you bring in, they're all going to be fighting essentially a neutral unit. That means none of the units here will have any color advantage against the boss. So what we'll do here is we're going to go through the mob fight, and then we're going to jump right ahead into the boss fights. All right, now we're on to wave 3. We're up against the boss, so we can see what happens here. Whenever she's going to be dealing damage, half of that is going to come back as health. So as you just saw there, she does get healed quite a bit. And I'm using Goldmere in here. Actually, I just wanted to say that, he's actually a really fantastic hero in this type of stages because he's able to deal damage twice and ignores defense. And even though it is not a color advantage here, he can still do well. So we're up against level 15 right now, and if you also notice, I'm not using Haron the purple dragon. That is actually intentional. I don't want to put heal block on the enemy right now because I want to see the enemy's skills in action. So you can see she dealt quite a bit of damage there, and then she fully healed up with her skill there because she was able to deal so much damage. Now, what you don't see here is also that if she didn't fully heal with her own skills, the totems would actually fully heal her up. So it is a really difficult boss to deal with if you aren't prepared for it. And so you can see we're able to deal some more damage here. Let's see if we can take her health down a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll see what happens here when the totems activate their skills. So we're going to slow them down. We're going to try and deal some more damage here. And then we took her to about halfway. And then the totems use the skill, increase all the mana, and then the other totem used their skill and a fully healed Moon Sister. So this is at level 15, and so it is a lot more challenging, and as you can see, one of the reasons for that is because the heal factor. And so this is what Moon Sister's like at a high level. This is what her skill is all about. And once she uses her skill again, we're probably going to lose all our health. So let's take a look and see if she's able to take us out here. Close, right? And that is because at this level, she does have quite a bit of health. And so with this setup here, I was able to take out levels 14 up to 14 pretty easily, and at 15 that's where it jumped up in difficulty. But here you have it. This is the Moon Sister. We're just gonna fast forward to the part where she completely wipes us out, or actually we can probably just wait now. It's just one more turn before she does that. So she's going to deal attack. It is going to take us out, but that is the Moon Sisters. All right, now let's take a look at the Red Star Sister, which is the Rift boss for the Red Crater Rift. If you take a look at her skills, Ashes of the Void resurrects all allies with 100% HP. The allies here are the totems, and then she grants increased attack to all allies and Bork King to all allies for 5 turns. Her passive ability makes her really difficult to take out, actually, because what she does is she gains 20 mana at the beginning of her turn for every living totem. So there's 2 totems, so she can gain 40 mana at the beginning of her turn every time. And then she also receives 40% less damage for every living totem. So with 2 totems, she receives 80% less damage, and that is why she revives her allies. Okay, so if you do focus on her ally and dies, when she has her active skill, she will revive them with 100% health. And then she also is receiving 50% less damage from bleeding, poison, burn, and assassin's mark. Also immune to stun, silence, sleep, and freeze. So not an easy boss to take care of, but she does not heal, so that is one nice thing to note. So because she doesn't heal, you don't have to worry about doing any heal block or anything. And we're going to use an all blue team setup here. We're going to go up against the boss, and as usual, we're going to skip through the mob fight, and we're going to jump into the boss engagements. All right, we're now on to our third wave against the Red Star Sister. What's interesting here is she's actually basically a support unit for the totems. The totems here are the ones that will be dealing more damage than you expect, especially since there is also a green totem here. If you're using blue allies, you're going to have a hard time against the green totem for sure. And because you are going to be dealing less damage overall to the boss, this is something to consider. You'll want to consider bringing in heroes that are going to be able to heal you more, so that as you take damage from the totems, you'll be able to handle it. So right now, again, I'm not bringing anything that's going to help me. I'm not bringing any potions. I'm not using any heroes that heal. I'm really just trying to showcase what it's like when you are facing against these enemies. This is at a slightly higher level as well, and so now you can see the Red Star Sister absorbs a lot of damage, but you can't really focus your time on taking out the totems either, because she will simply revive them. And so the strategy here is going to be on keeping yourself alive while continue to deal damage. You do want to make sure that you can handle the hits from your from the totems, and if you can do that, then you should have no problem taking out the boss. What we're going to do is we're going to jump to the end of the fight here, and then see what we can receive if we do win this battle. And that was indeed a very difficult battle. As you can see, it did take some time, but we were able to complete the level and defeat the enemy here. And finally, let's talk about the Green Star Sister from the Emeraldite Rift. So if you take a look at her battle skill or active skill, Boiling Force deals damage to all enemies and also deals unpreventable damage based on 20% of the target's max HP to all enemies. So she could deal a lot of damage to you, especially at higher levels, but instead of healing, what she does, she'll burn 75 mana off all of your units. Keep in mind that 100 is the max number of mana you can have, and so most of that is going to be burned off when she uses her active skill. Soul Flare damage is going to be increased by 25% for every 25% missing mana, so the fewer mana she has, the more damage she deals. She also will grant Soul Link to all totems for 6 turns, so the totems are going to share damage among them, and she's also going to gain Invincible for 8 turns. And just like with all other bosses, you receive 50% less damage from bleeding, poison, burn, assassin's mark, and you're also immune to stun, silence, sleep, and freeze. So we're going to be going up against level 17 right now. I'm going to be using mostly fire units here. I'm going to change this just to, for now, just to see if I can survive a little better. I'm also bringing Guinevere for heal, and she also has a nice little additional skill, which I think is helpful in this particular situation. So again, we're going to skip the mob fight and let's go right into the boss fights. Okay, and here we are. We're on our third wave with our boss fight here. So keep in mind that the boss is going to be granting Soul Link to the totems, and invincible for the first 8 turns. That means no matter what you do, as long as Invincible's on, even if you deal all the critical damage against the boss, she is not going to die. Okay, and so there are definitely ways to get around it. Guinevere's passive ability does take away a positive status from a hero, and so that is one example of it. And you can see here also there is now taunt activated again on one of the totems here, so all of the attacks now are going to be diverted to the totem here. And so this is a very buff heavy team that you're going to have to deal with, because you won't be able to take out the enemy very early on, and the longer the fight is drawn out, the more you're going to have to deal with the totems, because they're going to have fortified, they have increased defense, and they also have shared damage, and they have taunt. So you can't really directly deal damage to the boss. And while the boss is increasing her mana, she's going to be dealing area effect damage to all of you. And so there are definitely things you need to think about in terms of how you're going to be able to deal with the buffs, and also how you can get deal with the taunt, which is going to be a big issue here. And so that's why I'm bringing a green dragon here to heal, and also Guinevere to try and heal a little bit, as well as take away some positive damage. But this is going to be a very long, drawn out fight, so I'm going to skip ahead and show you the end results here. Alright, so we are coming up near the end of the fight here. You can see that my Premislav and also my Najar are all very low on health, and they actually just ended up dying here. So I did actually go through all of the levels here. This is level 17, so definitely a lot more difficult. But I would say that this presents a challenge which is really cool, and I think that there are definitely ways that you can do better here. Again, my main focus here was to showcase the hero and their skills, not to necessarily try and defeat it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to have a part 2 where I go through the other 3 rifts as well. I'll talk about the skills, I'll talk about the heroes, and hope you like this content. Let me know what you think. Give me comments below, and give me feedback on that. Really appreciate it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.